The Pitt Panthers, Mickey Philippi in year number 7. Look, this is a team that is unbeaten in ACC competition, looking to clinch at least a share of the ACC crown tonight. We move on to 174 pounds. Luca Augustine against Alex Faison. You know, one thing we haven't noted yet, Hayden, tonight is that it's senior night here for NC State, and Alex Faison getting his due respect as one of the few seniors for this program.
Yeah, one of the few seniors, and Faison's kind of been a surprise starter at 174 for the Pack this year. Started the season at 165. Didn't win that spot, goes up to 74, takes advantage of doing well at Las Vegas Invitational, and he's been the starter since. Been making the most of this opportunity. I look at this matchup, not very, highly ranked wrestlers in it, but this is so big for the duel. This is one of the biggest individual matchups.
Okay.
I think, in my opinion, if Pitt loses this individual matchup, it's not by all means over for them, but they've got an uphill climb then where they have very few areas where they can make mistakes. Where if NC State wins this individual matchup, they've got some more opportunities down the line where they're in a good position. I'm not going to say a great position, but they're in a good position if they win this.
So this is a potential swing matchup.
For sure. I think it's just very close. Augustine's starting to round into form, being a redshirt freshman. This is that time of the year. I think he's got some experience under his belt. Got a huge win last week against Clay Loud of UNC. Could give him a ton of confidence.
And I asked Coach Gavin, hey, did something click for Luca last week? He said, I hope so. He's a guy that loves wrestling. He's wrestling hard, and they go off the mat with some fireworks.
So Augustine, very good in underhook, starts pushing to the edge, hoping to get that stall call. Faison doesn't have a whole lot of risk there. Probably not a whole lot of reward because there's no space, but he rips a headlock, kind of tells him, hey, I'm here. Stop pushing me around in this position. But Augustine's been the aggressor in this first period. Very good out of that left underhook. What he looks to do is throw it by to a single leg. So he's there again. Faison's going to keep his right elbow in to avoid that underhook. But, as the match goes on, Augustine's got a good lefty high C too, so he'll attack Faison's back left leg. So he's got a pretty good arsenal of offense. He's in tight matches a lot, but he hand fights so well that he can wear guys out.
Augustine came in, highly touted from Waynesburg, Pennsylvania, as the state champ at 172. Won a team title with Waynesburg High School as well. Augustine defending that shot.
Very active hands by both guys so far. Augustine, huge stature. His shoulders are huge. Heavy hand fighter. Faison pretty good from underhooks himself, and so this could be one of those brawling matches where both guys have stone hands, trying to submit the other guy into getting tired. It's been a pretty action-packed first period. Both guys looking to establish that forward pressure. With that
battle of stone hands, I like
battle of stone hands. With that forward pressure, though, it does open you up to some of those quick explosive attacks because you're constantly lunging to go forward. Augustine's had a pretty heavy front lead and is looking to pressure forward. I looked over the coaching staff at NC State, and they're instructing Faison to go post and then shoot. He did post and go to that double earlier. It showed he was able to get to the legs. Wasn't able to finish, but that could be the recipe for a takedown. And there, Augustine shows his first glimpse of that lefty high C.
Out of bounds.
Augustine just so strong in that underhook position. He's going to look to keep going back there. Faison's got to make the in-match adjustment to keep right elbow to the side of his ribcage. If you can keep your right elbow in, it's very hard for the other opponent to dig an underhook on that side. Although that's a defensive position, you're kind of admitting, like, hey, I'm not letting you in here. It's still, you got to keep it away from that underhook.
Faison ranks at 174. Clay Lout, again, Augustine just beat him last Friday. And then Makai Lewis, who is ranked 3rd in the country. Former national champ for Virginia Tech. Big mat return. And the fans here in Raleigh, they love a good mat return.
Yeah, you don't get any points for it, but it's a moral victory. You're picking a grown man up in the air and putting him back to the mat. So the acoustics here in Reynolds Coliseum are pretty loud, and people just really go excited for it. So Augustine's right back up to his feet, goes for that roll through.
And he does escape.
I think this match has gone on pretty chalk for what my opinion on it would be coming in as a duel and individually. You know, the Matthews and Jack matchups, obviously two highly ranked competitors, but Matthews have had the edge historically. And then you get into Arrington, favored matchup. Ed Scott, favored matchup, gets bonus. 65, Heller, favored matchup. It's gone chalk. This is the first match I think we're seeing where not many people have it one way or the other. And so, although you love to see, your superstars come out and win a duel for you, sometimes it's those guys that are on the fringe of rankings, those really tight matchups that can win you duels. And this will be a huge start for either team, whoever can get the win in this matchup.
We're talking about Mekhi Lewis. That's the only loss that Faison has taken in duels this year. He's 6-1. He's been good in this spot. Gonna throw Luca by there.
One thing that you've seen so far from both wrestlers' offense, so Augustine's been the aggressor, moving forward, fire off some leg attacks by going forward. Faison's offense has come from that forward pressure. Right, he attempted a slide by there, which works whenever the person is pressuring in, and you release pressure and let him slide by. He also has that ability to post and go shot. So you're seeing a pretty strategic battle here of, okay, Augustine's the aggressor who's going forward. He's got to get to his leg attacks by doing that. And Faison's looking for those counters or those just catching Augustine heavy-footed. One thing to note, they did call earlier in the match Faison getting hands to the face. So that you get one warning for that. If you continue to go hands in the face more than once, they will give you an opponent a point. And with how hard they're hand fighting here, you got to be aware of that.
Something to think about.
Yeah.
So we go to the third period. Just the 1 point, just the escape for Augustine, and now Faison on bottom will try to do the same. Points were really hard to come by in that win over 8th-ranked Clay Loud, as we saw, that loss dropped him to 14. But 2-1 in the tiebreakers. It was really tight.
Comfortable winning in close matches. Love to see that out of a younger guy. He's going to... We're in that same boat right now, where are you willing to let it go to tiebreakers, or do you want to be the aggressor and go out and get the takedown? Myself, I think if I was in Augustine's shoes, you've shown you can... own real estate of the mat. I think you keep going back to it, maybe throw in some more leg attacks whenever you get to the underhook and put more scoring opportunities. With Faison, he's had a few decent exchanges with that slide by in that post.
Okay.
And I think if you're him, you maybe look for one bad reach from Augustine, one overreaction, and then you're dropping into your attacks.
Trying to capitalize off that. See Faison getting a couple words of wisdom from Coach Pop on the NC State side.
Stay in the center, guys. Work center.
Like mentioned earlier with Singleton, being the guy to expect to win matches like this whenever he's older, Augustine in the same boat for Pitt. This is a guy that they're building their future around. And this is a very old team that Pitt has. He's one of the younger stars, but they're looking for him to win matches like this for this team moving forward. And what better way to maybe, clinch a share of the ACC title, put yourself in the driver's seat to win the whole thing, to get a win for your team here tonight. 34 seconds, it's gut check time for both guys. Both are extremely tired, even though they might not show it. Who's going to be the one to go out and get it?
Augustine pushing the pace.
No stall calls yet. Augustine's been pushing the pace. I don't think it would be out of the question to see Faison get hit for one. He's done a good job of not getting pushed out, but the attack rate is much in favor of Augustine heading into overtime.
5 seconds. Well, you said you think both guys are tired. Now you put 2 more minutes on the clock. And our first overtime that we've seen tonight.
Yeah, so we're going to have a 2-minute sudden victory period from the feet.
Okay,
First
here we go,
score
guys.
wins.
We got 2 minutes.
And
Don't
then we
stop
would head
until you
down to the
hear
mat
whistle.
if it's still scoreless after that. But Augustine's been the aggressor. He looks like he's pretty fresh. He did this last week, went into deep waters and went 7 minutes plus.
That has to give him some level of comfortability here in a tough environment. Coach Gavin telling us, look, the fans here in Raleigh, they are right on top of you. It is an incredible atmosphere. And Faison in with the shot. Can he finish? Yes, he can.
On senior night, Faison gets it done for the Wolfpack. Big flex to the crowd. Just caught Augustine. Heavy foot, heavy hand. Pop, went to that double leg. Augustine was the aggressor, but Faison capitalized for the takedown. Huge for the team score implications.
The senior on senior night takes us to intermission with a big win. It started with Cole Matthews. They have gone back and forth all night. It's the Wolfpack with an 11-6 lead at intermission.